Welcome to Real Money Talks. Real strategies from the moneymakers and the world changers that you can use to make millions, keep those millions, multiply your wealth, and build your team. Here's your host, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View, Loral Langemeier.
I love this because it's introducing Zig and his work. And if you don't know who Zig Ziglar is, boy, do you need to go dig in. This man was a legend, and I was blessed to be able to travel in the last several, shows of his last year when his daughter Julie was having to interpret because he had some brain and memory issues. So he said, character. I have to read it because I've got my slides a little different. It was character that got us out of bed, commitment that moves us into action, and discipline that enables us to follow through. So look at those words. I want you to write down character, commitment, and discipline. And that's what 2023 needs to be about for you, is what's the character and the value that you lead from, the integrity that you lead from, what's the commitment that you lead from, and what's the discipline. So notice that I say lead because you're now going to be a CEO of a company. Now, your company might be real estate investing. Your company might be, stock trading. Your company could be whatever you all do, landscaping company, handyman company. You might want to create some content. The top 2023 industry jobs are all in digital marketing, content creation, YouTube, ad management, everything that we do in social media, top 10 jobs, app building, anything technical. So if you're not very technical, which I'm not, I don't want to, I have an amazing team and children that they could do that all. Too many commitments. Go to the next slide. Too many commitments. Are you willing to pay the price? So on January 5th, I'm going to do 2 hours and we'll have another VIP after, but I have to have 2 hours of time. I just couldn't tonight to get Tom here and get us all packed in tonight. But if you have too many goals, too many things that you want to accomplish, you set yourself up to lose. Because think about it, and we're going to talk about this more in January. There's all these areas of your life, from your spiritual journey to your money, right? So money, to me, when I say money, is how you make it and how you invest it. Then there's your career and your personal development. Like that's how you're going to do it. That's who you're becoming. There's your environment, which I say that a little different than most because your environment's so pivotal when it comes to feeling supported and guided and mentored. Your family and friends. You have, so I'm going to go through 8 areas of your life in January, and we're going to give them a score and we're going to move them forward. But if you say, well, I want to do all these things, you set yourself up to lose from the beginning because you can't do all these things. Do you want to focus on a business development, which will change your financial? That's where I advise most people, if I'm going to tell you where to go make more money. Most people's makeover is pretty quick. You need to make more money to do the things you want to do. And if you need to get out of debt, don't get out of debt, invest that money that you would use to get out of debt. You invest that principal. If you have 20,000 in debt, you're going to go invest 20,000. You're not going to pay it off because I want your 20 making you 2,400, $200 a month. And you're going to make the 20,000 to pay off that debt. So we have a very different approach to how to get you successful, and making new money is one of the greatest gifts you'll ever give yourself, your family, your children. Their ability and confidence and security, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how many of you, like 10 meaning, yes, I want this. Like how many of you, if you're willing to learn, would love to, go ahead and move the next slide, Steve. How many of you would just absolutely love to be able to turn on and off a cash machine, meaning you can make as much money as you want, whenever you want, because you can turn it on, you can turn it off, or you can turn it down. You never really turn it off. Right. So if I'm going to go do something for a while, say, 2-3 weeks, we may turn down the ad spend a little bit. Probably, actually, I can't even say we would do that because I have such an amazing team. They'll just keep jamming with or without me. Like it just works. It's a machine. A lot of you don't have a machine. You have an emotional entrepreneurial idea and you're hoping to God it's going to work out. And there's no systems or team around it. And you're doing too much work that you don't know how to do. So then you end up procrastinating. And I actually am going to teach you to live a procrastination-free life. Procrastination-free life. Well, first of all, let's define procrastination. You either don't know how to do it or you don't want to do it, so it doesn't get done. So if there's something you don't know how to do, you're going to hire it. If you don't want to do it, you're going to hire it. So you only do what you love to do. Strengthen your strengths. I do 3 things, and I do those 3 things in addition to my parenting, which is my biggest pride and joy of my life, really, really well. So again, scale of 1 to 10. How many of you at a scale of 10 want to learn to make money where you turn it on, turn it off anytime you want? Like, where is your desire to make money? And some of you, you might already know how, like Roger Carlo, like some of you already really know how, like you're doing really well. So that's not going to be a priority goal. So this isn't like a right or wrong. I'm just curious, as a group here listening tonight, we're on a scale of 1 to 10, is money making. And I'm not just saying making money to make money. I'm saying know it. Like you can turn it on, turn it off without, without fail. Steve, are you out there, my friend? Can you turn this next slide, please?
Yep.
Thank you. I'm trying to see. Oh, there we go. Tens. I know it's kind of common sense to say that. And even some of you that have been around a while, I see a lot of familiar names. You still don't really know how to do it. And you know how I know? I watched how you played at Gen W. I watched how you played at the table, and you played smaller than you needed to because the marketplace is always open. Back to too many commitments, you're going to pay a price, right? So you got to be really, really careful. Like, you need to be willing to pay the price of keeping the commitments. So what I mean by this slide, to be fair, we often don't understand the depth of a commitment until we're in the midst of trying to keep it. So what I want you to understand is, and Tom said it really well yesterday to those of you that were listening at the big table. And even Martha said, like reinforced it. You're going to set goals and plans. Like you're going to do this 4-hour business plan for those of you in the VIP, or those of you already in the table. You already have building, leading, protecting, so you're good. I mean, that's a deeper cut of it. What you're going to get out of this. So here's the truth.
That one is actually you walking them through it.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's even better.
Yeah, it's I think 2 or 3 hours live with you.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
So I don't know the big table people have that one. Either way, like what I want you to think about is as you're walking, into a plan or into like, even I'll use this, this was a 2-year journey between Kyle and I getting this book to what it became, which was a Wall Street, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, like massive bestseller. But it was a commitment at all levels for this entire team. And I remember us all sitting and saying mid-January, are we going to go? Because if we're going to go, we got to go. And then until you say yes, the universe is not going to deliver anything to you. And see, a lot of you don't say yes. What you do is you stutter step. You go back and forth and back and forth. You stutter step back and forth. Sorry, I got interrupted. So when you stutter step, I mean, then you don't know where you're going. So what I need you to do is just know that there's going to be some flexibility in the plan. Right. So you're going to be moving and then you're going to run into a wall. I always say as Steve Harvey says, you're going to jump off that cliff and you're going to get some bruises. So you're going to get some bruises. We don't call them failures. I don't call them failures. Those are learning. Like, all right, we're going to go this way. All right, can't go that way. Got to go this way. That's the power of a mentor, is like extreme experience, an enormous Rolodex, and avoiding costly errors. Like if some of you, and I won't say your name because I've been talking to a lot of you that are on this call, said you wanted to be a bestseller at this magnitude, you're not ready. And I would say you can waste your money, but you're not ready. You don't have enough content. You don't have enough, there's a lot to it. So for a lot of you, I think you give up quickly because you run into a first roadblock. So when you run into a roadblock, you don't stop, right? You say, I'm saying yes, I'm staying in my commitment to yes. And I'm going to figure out who knows how to help me. And I'm not backing out. I mean, how many of you would say like that's been you? You have a commitment or a plan and you run into too many roadblocks, so you just lay it down, versus at all costs, I am going to win. Like when I said yes, our team said yes, right? We call it the ride or die. We're going to make this thing work. And we got into it. It's like, oh my gosh, the best sellers are still on a hardback 285-page book. When we want a millennial and a Gen Z to buy it, who love E and audio, like E and audios don't count to this big baby. So how do we entice people to buy a book, a real one like this? Well, we had to add a conference to it, Gen W. We had to add an NFT to it. So we ran into all sorts of blocks as we got back into best-selling campaigning, going, oh my gosh, this thing's like harder than what's ever been in the history of making bestseller books. So my point is, I want you to commit a small number of things you want to do. Like 3 to 6 things that you're going to do this year, and you're going to do them really well. Like you're going to get to that first 6 figures. Like that alone, because there's so many sub-tactical actions below it, is enough of a goal. The second goal, if say I want to make 100 or 200 or 1 million for some of you, whatever your goal, your number is, You want at least 10% to go to new assets. Because the other thing new entrepreneurs do in making new money is you put too much of that money back in your company and you're not diversifying into other assets. Having your own company, like Integrated Wealth Systems, is the biggest asset I have by far because of the database size, the duration, the monetization. This company has made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And it's made many, many millionaires. So the duration is critical. But are you willing to pay a price of tuition, of mentoring and education? And a lot of you will lay it down. And I just want to encourage you to really focus. And Tom's going to give you some goal setting strategies tonight. January 5th, I'm going to give them to you. Those of you who want to continue to work with Tom will go also into January 10th. So we have a lot of really shifting your habits and behaviors so you have a different result. All right, so go to the next slide. This one is a huge activity. I just want to acknowledge Dan and Kelly Kessler, if they're out there. They did the most amazing work in this category. They came in for a private session and we went up to Lake Tahoe to this beautiful country club, had dinner and sat for hours and just talked about their personal and their business life. Now, I think you have an integrated life and I want you to see how they overlay. So, and a lot of you don't integrate yet. So I want you to do it separately. If you could look at yourself personally, like you as a human and you with the skill set, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And like mine is, my strength is I go fast. My weakness is I go fast. So what do? I surround myself with people who go slower, who are more analytical, who counter my speed, who say, you know, slow it down. I don't slow down. I say, you got to speed up. What they mean is I need that analyst to make sure, because when I go fast, I could miss some things, right? So then they complement. A lot of you, your hiring isn't proper. And I can't wait till Tom talks about this later too. You're hiring in your like kind, meaning you're hiring people that have the same strengths and weaknesses. Like kind people don't make an organization. You've got to have all sorts of diverse personalities and skill sets. So together it makes a well-oiled machine. What are the opportunities that you have in front of you? What are the threats that are in front of you? So evaluate yourself and then overlay your business. So then if you look at your business separately, and as an organization, and when you do the business, here's a big homework for those of you, especially you big table people who are more advanced because you've already been in the work for a while. I want you to look at your business, your organization, without you in it. Like we had a team meeting today, actually an internal operations meeting. And that was my kind of funny joke I told them today. I said, I'm resigning today. Like if I wasn't here, and that was the huge joke, because I'll do this till the day I die. But operationally, if I'm not here, all of this machine needs to move at the same pace, speed, and revenue that we make. And so what are our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats as a team, right? What's your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities? And it's interesting to look at your business, like, and I don't want to name names, but like I talked to you earlier today, so you know who I'm talking about. When you're a one-person band, you can't do this activity. So I'm going to challenge your thinking to say, for me to be successful, I like, not only do I not want you to do it alone, when I hear solopreneur, I hear solo suffering, because I know you cannot do all the things it takes to run a successful company. Like, here's the divisions of a successful company. You have a marketing team. The most money we spend in this company is on marketing. The people who make the most money are the salespeople who take that lead and convert them to a sale. And then we have an accounting team, right? And we have a fulfillment and operations team. We have a technical team. And then around all of that is customer service support and the resell and upsell of another product, which then takes you back from fulfillment and operations back to sales to count the money, do the fulfillment, do it again. You can cycle your cash flow in a well-oiled machine. And a lot of you, you're just you, right? And I remember being you in a spare bedroom in 1995 and 6 when I was leaving Chevron to go follow a Japanese guy in a game around called Robert Kiyosaki. And thank God he made it. But you know what, if he didn't, it was my place to jump, and I landed, perfectly well. But even let's just say they didn't become the big bestseller they did, I still would have just continued to learn. And I got a new world. I got a new landscape. I got a new environment. I put a new team around me. I put some of the greatest, minds in this industry around me. So what are you doing? And this is an amazing activity. Those of you who have a coach, so Damon will take a note. Especially you big tables, do this activity, send it into homework at Ask IWS, and we'll make sure your coach gets it, and like really dig into fixing last year, like 2022, like what worked. I mean, this is another way you could do a SWOT analysis is what was your SWOT analysis for 2022? I mean, you take this all back to 2020 it's really, really interesting because all of us had different lives. I remember my last stage, March 7th, flying home. And I know, Tom, you said you had 12 or 13 cancels. I had 29 stage cancels within less than a week. My entire year went like from a huge event show. I mean, speaking with Richard Branson, speaking with Tony Robbins, like all these amazing stages, all done. Like it went to nothing. I mean, we never moved as a team so quickly, and now we won't move back. I won't move back. I've done that life. I've been to 6 continents. I've been all over the world. I don't want that life back. I want life with my children and that life. So do this activity, send it into your coach. If you don't have a coach, Laura, if you want to raise your hand over there, you are either assigned to Laura, Omar, or Jeff as a lead strategist inside our office. You might have talked to Kristen, Chrissy, Lavelle, or Terry. So you've talked to someone in our organization. And if you haven't, so all of you strats, get ready. Put a no in the chat if you don't if you don't have an appointment with somebody out of this call, because I'd like you to have a session. So you're on track for then January 5th. So you really come in strong. Like look back, I'm going to give you a little precursor. It's not a slide, but go ahead and move to the next slide, Steve. When you set your goals, I want them to be SMART goals, right? And this is not new. Everybody knows this, but if you don't, I wanted a reminder slide. They have to be specific. They have to be measurable, attainable, realistic, and they have to have a time bound. They have to have a time to it. Like our bestseller, like we had a time. We knew May 10th that thing had to hit, right? So they have to be very specific. And again, take all the things you want to do, compartmentalize them. What this year are the most important 3, 4, 5, 6 things that you get done, and do them really smart and really well. As we pace into next year, like I said, we're going to look at different areas of your life. I'm also going to do an activity, and you can start thinking about it and start reflecting on 2022. It's called Start, Stop, and Continue. What do you need to start doing based on what you did? So the way you do this activity is you get a journal. I'm a huge journaler. If you don't have a journal, we have journals that are in our store, at our Shopify store. Andrew, will you put the store link? You can get one of our journals for $20. They're beautiful red leather bound journals. They live out loud, conversations about money. They're beautiful. And you can get a journal, but journal like in your mind, how was 2022? Did you have more regrets? Like create results. If you did write it down, go back and look at your resolutions and say, so what happened? And then look at the reality of what happened. Like, did somebody get sick? Right? I mean, a lot of people are having family members, sick, die, whatever. I mean, it's the hardest thing to plan for is an unplanned illness. And then that causes the next problem, which is the number 2 problem in money, is an unplanned estate. So the person dies, problem number 1, unplanned estate. Now you are burdened with all of this mess from your parents or whoever gave you this inheritance, then you don't know how to untangle it. Like we start today to untangle. So just think about all the things you did in 2022 and start doing a category. And I'm going to take you through a process. It'll take about 20 to 30 minutes of our January 5th call. What do you need to start doing based on what happened in 2022? What do you have to stop doing? And what do you want to continue to do? Because I want you to acknowledge that you've done great stuff. You did the best with what you have. So go to the next slide. You did the best for your current level of thinking. And now Laura wanted me to bring this up to a few of you, and I totally agree with her. Some of you, you are smart and successful, right? Go ahead and move to the next slide, Steve. Hello? Where did he go? There he is. The same old thinking is going to create the same old results. But a lot of you're successful from an employee view of the world, right? You've done well, you've made, or even an owner of a company. But as your foundation, did it grow with you, right? Like I was just going to call out to Roger and Carla, because I know you guys, like, you've outgrown your structure for years, right? Some of you, like, you don't even have the right structure yet. You're not even in the right intellectual property to operational company and equipment company, like you're not set right. So why would you continue to grow and make money if your foundation isn't right? So one goal for all of you is to get your foundation right. And if you do not get incorporated, LLC, limited partnership, S Corp, or C Corp, and go ahead and put our number in the chat, by the end of the year, midnight, December 31st, you will blow this year. You can't look back and say you had an entity. So on December 30th, if you say I got an entity that day, we can take this whole year and do it very differently. and the way you spent your money. We can totally do a complete rework if you get incorporated the way we would do it. Like, so you have to get that done. It'll be your biggest regret. I guarantee it. It is everyone's biggest regret as they get to know us because they didn't get it done or you didn't do it right. And you did it cheap. You could go to your Secretary of State and do it for, just the cost, but then you don't have the corporate binder, the stock certificates, the operating agreement, the articles of incorporation. I mean, you don't have the documents. And so you can't even open a bank account. So do it right. That is the number one regret we always hear from people. And the second one is you don't know what you don't know. So, if you are a teacher, if you're a leader, you're a manager, like a CEO of your company, and you're really that position, are you still a student? Like I told you, I'm already set to spend over 6 figures next year in new mentoring or repeat mentoring from some of my greatest favorite mentors that I'm going to go back to do 2 very specific things I don't know how to do. And I'm not going to spend a minute solving the problem without their brain. So I'm going to pay them for the day. And it's going to be an amazingly expensive day. And I'm going to fly to them. I'm going to spend the day. I'm going to bring a bunch of team with me. We're going to solve those problems. We're going to come home. And then we're going to do it again and again and again. So what are you willing to do to get the result? And that's what I meant by pay the price. A lot of you've had weight loss coaches and nutrition coaches and music coaches. I mean, the greatest performers of the world, all of us have had coaches and mentors in the category that we want to grow. So really take the resolve and the completion, I would call it, of 2022 seriously. Like really take a hard look, spend hour, like really, whether it's this weekend, early week, sit down for at least 2 hours and really think month through month. Like go back through your calendar. What were you proud of? What really worked? What didn't work? What are your opportunities? Because see, I know that yes, opportunities come to you every day, but when you process an opportunity that's coming your way through one filter called, can I do it? You'll say no. You'll say yes first, and then nanoseconds later, you'll be like, oh, but I don't know how to do that. I say yes to opportunities. And then my answer is, now who's going to be the team? Because I'm not doing the work. I'm going to lead it. I'm not doing it. Write that down. That's who I want you to become. I want you to become more of a leader than a doer. You can hire the doing. And guess what? Those who hire the doing, every person that's on this team has their own company and they're doing what they lead best. And then they have the doers. So there's levels of leading and doing in every one of the categories that we're going to teach you to be in. So your same thinking this year without new thinking. That's why I do my YouTube channel. We started our YouTube channel a year ago, July 12th, 2021. We started our YouTube channel for the sole purpose of being in a money conversation 5 days a week with a new topic, 10 to 15 minutes a day. All I'm asking, listen, and then your conversation at the dinner table starts saying, so what did you learn today? What are you going to do different about money today? And again, 1 habit a day, and slowly 365 days, 3 to 5 years later, you're going to be a millionaire. It's not a guess. It's not a hope. It's true. We know how to do it. We blueprinted it. We playbooked it. It works. So we want our magic to work on you. But you have to commit and say yes. So boy, did I do that really fast. I want to just jam in here really quick. You need estate planning like yesterday. We'll call that. Then make sure you call our office. Donna, so team out there, Terry, Chrissy, Kristen, Lavelle, make sure you guys are taking notes on this. So write down the name. Arthur needs a strategy session. Crystal, looking forward to an appointment. Laura's already got that. Tina needs a strategist. Donna needs to get incorporated. You guys call them, pick up the phone. We have all the registration information and get it done. So yes, Beth, this got to be, how does it feel, Beth, to have that done? Like, I would hope a lot of you would just say, it's just the biggest relief to know that I'm set. Like if anything ever happens, I'm actually going to be okay. That confidence to say that to you and your family is huge. And Jewel, you said, I want to stop helping others. I want you to help them, but I want you paid for it, which means you need business rules and charity rules. See, a lot of you, especially women, you downplay your success and you give your time away, which is your highest valued asset, for free because number one, you don't understand the worth of yourself and the value of your offer, and you don't have charity rules. So when you have charity rules, like we just gave a ton of money to the Wounded Blue. We did over almost close to 2 million. I know for sure about 1.7 million in discounted tuition to launch our NFT. Like we knew we were doing it, but we're now get to serve so many people and help them get the goals that they want in their life. So we're excited. If you go to the next slide, again, this is your last minute to go join the room. Oh, sorry, I forgot about this. This is something that you need to do the minute you start your career. So Marie, we talked earlier today, Roger Carl, I don't know if you guys are doing this, all of my table members, asklaurel.com/review. Laurel is a review site. It allows you to make up to $350 giving us reviews. So if you like tonight, or you like the Millionaire Intensive or my books or whatever, you can go to Amazon, Google, Facebook. I wish one mentor would have told me this. We started this about 2 years ago, probably 2 years too late, because social media has done its magic. And I call the internet the bathroom wall. Anybody can write anything about you. So the internet's not where you do due diligence, but by the way, folks, right? So you're going to see all sorts of stuff. I've been doing this for 25 years. If we were scams, I always say, there's a scam site and a ripoff report. Those are companies that are run out of like Russian and Ukraine kind of businesses. So you don't know where their ISPs are. Anyone successful, Tony Robbins is up there. I bet Zig's still up there, but he's even passed. Tom, I don't know, maybe you're up there too, Tom. I know you're out there. Anyone successful, I always say, if you get on scam and ripoff reports, congratulations, you've been successful, because you're threatening somebody. And what they want is your traffic, and they're a bait and switch site. They're going to say, don't buy Laurel stuff, she's a scam, but buy my little trinket. And so they're all ripoff sites. Don't ever pay to get your name off the sites. I know, I can't say who they were, but 3 very high profile people paid $150,000 to these people to get their name off the site. Didn't matter. They were back up within the next 3 days. And because it's an international transaction, there's no recourse on that money. So all of you, from the beginning of your career, get great people to give you reviews. So I ask you guys to always do that. And then you can apply $350 towards a next step with us and whatever you want to do. And you talk to your strategist. Last chance. Here we go. VIP. We're at the top of the hour. And I'm going to leave that VIP up. So Steve, go ahead and click forward to the asklaurel.com. ROI, results or regrets, VIP. And again, it includes the 2 hours, the replay of this tonight, and the hour that's coming with Tom Ziegler, who's out in the waiting room, ready to come on board. A bonus training on operating agreements, because you're going to have partners, and if not done right, you could lose everything. I've had so many clients come to me having lost everything because they didn't have an operating agreement. It's called Design Your Divorce While You're in Love. The proper components of an operating agreement. It's going to be the 2 hour talk that Glenn gave at our big table as a big bonus. And then me walking you through, I guess, the 3 to 4 hour one, which is a big one. It's a complete planning guide on how to do a business plan. So click on that.
And the masterclass. It's not on the slide.
Oh, it's a masterclass. Awesome.
No,
Good.
no, the Make Your Kids Millionaires masterclass. It's not on the slide, but that's also included.
And Kyle and I just did that. It's brilliant. 4 episodes of how do you get your kids to understand expenses, debt and credit, how to get understand entrepreneurialism, leadership, and alternative investing, and get them interested young at investing and how they begin that. So click on that right now. I want to just recap some things from tonight. Right. So there are 7 divisions of a company. You can't do it by yourself. The most successful in any category of your life. Number 1, we live in the alternatives. And number 2, you have mentors and coaches. Do a SWOT analysis. You can bring that to your strategy sessions. I know that Laura, Omar, and Jeff are out here listening, so they will know how to, kind of talk you through your gap and where you are and what you want. And then how can we be a solution for you in the next year? And then do the journaling. Like, how is 2022 for you? And you really look back, did you have more regrets or more results? And then let us guide you. And as we go into this VIP with Tom, he's going to walk through goal setting, performance planning. How do you make sure you don't take those resolutions January 1? First of all, don't do resolutions. Just say, I'm going to do results this year. 2023 is, I coined it. I said, be free in 2023. It's kind of catchy. And to do that, you've got to have a different level of thinking, different environment of support, mentoring, coaching, and really narrow down the 3, 5, 6 things that you want to get done. Like this is the results I'm going to create. Notice with the conviction in 2023, not leaving it to chance or luck. And you're not going to manifest sitting on the couch eating bonbons. It doesn't work. Your action tells the universe, God, I'm committed. No action is confusing. So nothing happens. So be committed this year. How many of you on a scale, what's your commitment to new results in 2023? I want to wrap with that. On a scale of 1 to 10, and that'll be a good setup for Tom, because I know he's out here watching. How many of you, like, this is going to be your year? And even if you've had some fabulous past years, this is going to be like another amazing year. Like I'm a 10, I'm a 12. Like I have so much fun going on. I mean, I started on January 9th keynoting the NCAA Coaches and Wives Conference for the wives. I cannot wait. So we're starting right off with a bang and just like going to crush it this year. I'm having my first big 3 to 4 harvests in our cannabis business this year. We're going to build all sorts of real estate and country malls and development and RV parks. Got so much planned, cannot wait. And I share that because I want you to have that anticipation of excitement, like not daunting, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get it done? I don't know how to do half that stuff, by the way. I'm going to get the best team. I have the best teams around us. We're going to crush it next year. And we're to serve so many lives and help so many people understand money and finance and business.
Thanks for listening to the Real Money Talks podcast. Your host has been Loral Langemeier, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View. Want to learn more about off-Wall Street investing, tax strategies, and multi-million-dollar business strategies? Visit liveoutloud.com/podcast for past episodes, show notes, and resources. For some special wealth-building gifts only for Laurel's podcast listeners, visit liveoutloud.com/podcast gifts. Do you have a burning question for Laurel? Visit asklaurel.com to submit your question, and it may just be covered on a podcast episode. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to get new episodes every week.